Welcome back, crawlers! It is time for the Butcher's Masquerade, book number 5 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. Now, if you haven't watched my other reviews, let me do a quick recap of my feelings of the books up to now. Book 1, fantastic. Book 2, amazing. Book 3, we're falling off a bit just because that level was insane. Book 4 was like drinking from a fire hose, and it kind of blew a fuse for me. And here I am. I just looked. I can't believe it's already been 5 months since I read book number 4. But here we are with book number 5. And we're going to do no spoilers, and we'll do a big spoiler section later. But just my overall thoughts is that I'm so happy and relieved that this book is not as insane as the third or the fourth. After the fourth, and the books keep getting longer and longer. Look at this guy. So reading the third and then the fourth, I was like, is this where we're going? It's just going to be... In saying it's psychotic, it doesn't do it justice because it's all psychotic. But just psychotic to the, a millionth power at the end of book 4. And I was just done with it. And a guy I work with had read the later books, and he's like, trust me, it gets better, and man, book 5, we're back to form, back to what made me love the first and second books. And I guess really it's just that the level itself is not a gimmick, right? There's no maze of trains, there's no bubbles and canyons and oceans and underground and sky levels. It's just, actually, the good thing about this, I love fantasy books, and this feels like you took all the characters and just threw them into a fantasy setting. It's a giant forest. At least that's how I imagined it in my head. It's a giant forest. That's the whole map. In one little corner, there's a castle with elves. Up in the north, you've got the capital city, and you've got all these little towns spread throughout. There's rivers and bridges, and you're like, oh, look at this. It's Dungeon Crawler Carl in the Lord of the Rings environment. It was so nice not having to worry about, so wait, they have to do this in the level and then this in the level. The level's not a thing. It's just the setting, and it's just a forest. They get to go back to just, all right, there are the stairwells. They've got this Butcher's Masquerade at the end. We just got to fight people, level up, and that's it. And it was so nice just to have something simple again. I will say that there is a bit of stuff at the beginning that makes me wish I hadn't waited so long to read this book, because they were referencing things back in the fourth book. The end of the fourth book was just nutso. You can go back and watch my review of that one, but it was just like thing after thing after thing happening, and the sharktopus and this dog, and then all this stuff going on. You're like, what just happened? And between that and not reading it for like 5 months, I forgot about a lot of the things that went on. I will say that the sex doll head, Samantha, she's in this book a lot, and she is hilarious. I mean, laughing out loud. There are times I had to stop and just laugh and, text people. It's like, oh, I can't believe she's hilarious. She's hilarious. Absolutely awesome. So yeah. Not much more I can do without spoiling anything. Of course, every book we get a little more the drips from what's going on in space, the galaxy, the companies, what's going on there. There are a couple good moments with those talk shows or panels or the extra stuff he has to do. And then the name of the book, The Butcher's Masquerade, is a big like party at the end, which I won't say any more about, but that was great. I heard that the next book, like one guy I talked to about it, he said like the next book, book number 6, half of it, the first half is meh, but then the last half is awesome. I thought this whole book was really good. There was never any part where I'm just like, oh, okay, this is stupid, or let's get on with it. And for being even longer, what is this, almost 700 pages? 700 pages. I never felt bored or like I was just trying to push through it. I think I read this thing in 5 days. In one day, I read like 250 pages. It is great. It is really, really good. I'm so happy. It feels like the first and second books again. So if you're like me, if you read the third one, you're like, meh, okay, maybe the fourth will be better. And if the fourth was just too insane for you that you want to quit, don't. This one gets back to why you fell in love with the series, why I fell in love with the series. Just find the staircases, kill, kill, kill. It is awesome. It is fantastic. I do have the 6th one. And look at this. Why do they do this? Why do they keep getting bigger and bigger? I think this one's nearly 800 pages. Ugh, The Eye of the Bedlam Bride. And I have decided that I am going to jump right into this one next. So my next review on the channel most likely will be this book, unless something weird happens. But yeah, go read book number 5. Don't worry that book 3 was crazy, book 4 was maybe too much. This one is fantastic, and I'm so happy. So we are going to jump into spoilers. Please do comment down below, like and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. It's spoiler time, so if you have not read it, we'll see you later. Go read it and come back. But we're going to talk spoilers. All right. So, like I said, a lot of the stuff they talk about at the beginning, or like kind of reference towards the beginning about what happened in the last one, I totally forgot. A, it was just too much, and B, I took way too long to read this one. Not going to make that mistake again. But what can we talk about here? I mean, we just have some high points because the level, I loved that feeling of just like being in the woods. Everywhere they were, like any town or village, I just imagined it surrounded by super tall trees. Or like, they went to that one town where Donna became the mayor, and they're just talking to that bear, and there's like a bridge and a river, and she just kind of boop pushes him down the hill, and he dies. It's like, oh, you're the mayor of this town now. Let's get to the exciting stuff. Well, one thing I do want to say, I do like how Carl feels in this one. Slowly but surely, Carl is getting more and more tired of the dungeon, the people running the dungeon, and he's not afraid to just get in their face and tell them. And in fact, in like this one, way at the end where he's like looking up and he's like explaining to all the viewers of what's going on, and Zeb's like, Carl, stop. He's just like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. Screw you people. His attitude towards like the hunters, he's just, I'm just gonna kill you all. No remorse, no hesitation. So it really ramps up in this. I kind of liked it. He was just like, screw it. It's like, it felt like when I'm like playing a game and he's like, you know what, I'm done with these stupid, I just want to run around and kill things. And that's what he was like. He starts to like slip a little when he finds out, he's like, oh, you're an accountant, you got family, and he starts to slip, but at the beginning he's just like, screw you guys, I'm gonna kill. So I did like that, how he kind of felt different, just doesn't give two shits about anything. I gotta say, the stuff with Miriam and her goat didn't affect me. I can't remember his long name. She called him Pony. And I can't remember, was that last book we met these people? Sometimes some of these characters, they pop in, they pop out, and I don't remember who they are. I don't even have a good visualization for what they look like, just because they're here one book and they're gone for 2, and then they're here and they're gone. Like some of the party members too, I'm like, I can't even visualize what this person looks like. But anywho, so the goat person and Miriam, I was like, okay, it was a little interesting. It was kind of awful how he was just like frozen on her, and she's like, you just gotta let me die, and he has to sit there and watch it and can't do anything. And I did like every part where he's like, all right, we're on it, this is the plan. And then he screamed, let's see here. Let's skip to Samantha. I talked about Samantha, the sex doll head. I did not expect her to be, I guess, in the book as much, but just hilarious. And the things as she's just like, I'm just gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill your mother. And he would just like, what was that part? He strapped like missiles to her head and then took out his little lobber thing, and it's like, wait, let's see, I can throw something like 50 kilometers, and he just chucks her. And then like, an hour later, she comes rolling back. I'm gonna kill you. He's like, hey, Carl, what'd you do to me? And while we're talking about Samantha, let me skip ahead, because where did I have it? Where she is just absolutely hilarious. She's at the end where she comes down through the floor like riding the wave of guts and everything, and she's like, surprise, MFers. Or when she's holding the door against is it the deity she's holding the door against, and she's like, not MFer, but she's like, you daughter ever. Absolutely hilarious. More comedy, which had me rolling all the time. So let's get to the panels and the shows. Of course, we get the big one with B, which we've been waiting for, right? We've been waiting for her to come into the story. They talk about how they're probably going to use her as like the boss or later on in the story, but I don't know, it's kind of a weird choice. I don't know why he did it like this and he didn't make it that big moment or reveal where they had to deal with her in the dungeon. But it did give us a nice, rare, like emotional moment with Donut, where she just goes off and it's like, you were just gonna use me, and when you're done, you were gonna throw me away. It's like, I'm Carl's cat now. It's like, you never really loved me. Da da da. And it was like, I think it was almost like a whole page, and it's one of the few points in these books where you just actually really slow down and read it, and you're just like, oh wow, it's like this is kind of getting to me. This was kind of good. I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to think, it's like, maybe how would you react to that? Donut doing that. It's like, could you keep yourself composed? This person that you thought loved you so much, and then, or Donut especially, like adored her. And the same with Ferdinand at the end, to keep herself composed. Because I'm trying to think, I don't know if we have a good gauge on how long they've actually been in the dungeon, like weeks. Has it been months yet? I'm trying to think of how long some of these floors have been. Maybe a couple months. So these people, it's not like you've been away from them for long. They're still fresh. Your old life can pop right back instantly. So for her to keep herself composed, and then give this big long speech about everything. Of course, in this short time they've been in the dungeon, her and Carl have gone through a lot, like a lifetime's worth of ups and downs and struggles in just a couple months. So it's understandable, that kind of stuff brings people together, like people who go to war and stuff and go through some crazy crap. They're brothers for life, and that brings people close. So it's understandable. I think she did a much better job than I would expect most people to do, but she is a cat. And who was it? Who said that? Like, cats, they have no souls. They don't care. They will just like, oh, I should have clipped that out. He's like, that's cats. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They care about themselves and just want what they want. And that's all they care about getting. They'll use you to get what you want. That was awesome. And then we have the other panel, again, with Carl not caring anymore about what he says or whose face he gets into. When he gets to the point, let me find her name. Vra's mom. What was Vra's mom named? Circe? Now, this part, they said he was drugged, like they slipped him something in the green room backstage, which I kind of wish they hadn't done that. I wish it just would have been him doing it on his own. But it did loosen him up, and he starts just going off on her, saying this and that. And I did find this from the book. I do love this. Because they're talking about, he's gonna go back. I think she was down in the aisle. He's like, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna kill your whole family, kill your daughters, and da 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 da. And here's what he says. He says, I'll be signing autographs at my own table and taking photographs and answering questions. If your plan works, I'll be sure to bring the heads of Circe's daughters to decorate my table. I guess she wasn't in the room at that point. He was getting ideas. He's just like, I'll be sure to bring the heads of Circe's daughters to decorate my table. And you're like, oh, that's crazy. He is getting ballsy. I love it. I love it. And then he pops right back into the town, which is Lucia's town at the time. Awesome fight where he has to, use the smoke screens and disappear and all that stuff. That's another thing I loved about this book. So many fights, and it's just about using your tools, using your abilities, and not having to worry about the stupid level layout all the time. When they get to that like keep, or that castle in the water with Signet and that giant frog alligator thing, the best part about that was, and I thought, he's thinking it, and I'm thinking it's like, oh yeah, that'll work. How he's going to get under it, use his protective shell, just kind of like roll it onto his back. But then you forget that protective shell is like instantaneous. So when he boop pops it on, just go poof, and the thing just goes boom, and he's like, whoops. You just imagine this thing shooting into the air, and it's like, it's not stopping, it's still going. Oh man, that was good stuff. And what was it? That flying pterodactyl thing? All I could visualize in my head was Rodan. But it was down on the treetops, and he just goes dive bombing through its hoo-hoo. Hilarious. Man, this book was so good. We talked about Miriam, the flying dinosaur, oh, those creepers. The hunters. What can we say about the hunters? I felt there were some that were competent, but then we learned that they're just everyday people. It felt like a Squid Game thing, right? Where, hey, you want to pay some money or have some fun? Come on into the dungeon and get yourself a kill. So that was kind of interesting. We get the plants that jump up, but let's skip to the end, the Butcher's Masquerade. And there's all this stuff going on with Signet and Samantha and the Queen, which I kind of loosely followed, but we jump in there. Of course, we get Carl. He tells Donut, make it subtle. Your show is subtle, and she goes all out and has who is it, Lewis doing the announcement, and then Mongo moonwalking across the stage. But we do get moments. I think we saw a little bit of this with Lucia in her town, with what's going on inside her. And this is probably one of the more interesting things keeping in the back of my head. It's like, what's going on with her? Because she gets in the corner, and I forget the guy's name who is talking to her, and she's like, her eyes glaze over, or you can just see her personality change, and she's got like multiple people inside, but it's like the dog is controlling her, and maybe the other dog that Donut killed, which was really awesome. I missed that. What's going on with her? Either they're gonna figure it out, probably not for a while, right? They got to keep her a wild card for a while, but someday maybe she'll finally conquer it. Maybe if they have to kill the other dog to get her back to normal. That's interesting. That's very interesting. For a while, she's just kind of been out there wreaking havoc, but now they've brought her a little closer and made her a more interesting person in this world. So I am eager to see what's up with that. Let's go back to Donut and the fight when Carl was gone. She had to fight Lucia. Weren't you proud of Donut when you're watching the recap and seeing what's going on, and you're like, heck yeah, Donut, you can do this on your own. A couple of close calls, but look, Carl, be proud of her. Look what she did. And then when that dog stuck his head through her whole thing, and then, oh, that was good. Very, very quick thinking, and that was really good. Back to the Butcher's Masquerade. More with Samantha. She just sucks at executing plans. Everybody's like, wait, we're trusting her to do this. I was like, she's the only one we got. She's like, I didn't study the map. Did you see the size of that thing? But then the end, this was another part that I felt was strangely beautiful and things slowed down, is when Donut was up there singing. And she's singing those lyrics, and he writes that she's in this bit of a minor key, and Carl is standing next to Signet, and she starts to give off this soft glow. I don't know, I could just visualize that so well, like a movie scene, right? You got the background, Donut's kind of blurry, you look over and you see Signet here glowing, things are building, and then she goes over to the Queen and does her thing, and I didn't expect her to end her own life. I don't know. There's so much in this world I don't understand exactly how things work, but that was just like, oh, wait, oh, okay, I guess that did it. But that was a beautiful moment. Beautiful moment. Definitely slowed that down and enjoyed my time reading that whole scene and build up with her. Of course, then we get the floor opening up, which I thought was hilarious. Everybody's just falling down, and then boss battle. Have I mentioned that I really like this book? Everything is just so good. Another fun boss battle. This time, 4 teams. Who did you have? The Queen, the Deity, the Hunters, and the Crawlers. The Hunters, they were pretty much a non-factor, right? They pretty much all got wiped out immediately. I forget what even happened with the Deity. That seemed to happen pretty fast. And then we got another last-minute thing with Carl using the butterflies when what's-her-face shot out all the lightning bolts, and like somebody pointed like, your jacket, and it's like butterflies and this was great. This was great. I hope you enjoyed it too. I know the couple of people I know who are reading these, they also enjoyed it. So please do leave a comment down below about what you thought. Who is going right on to this one? 800 pages. No, that's the Pineapple Cabaret. I will say about the Pineapple Cabaret, I stopped reading those. I read the first 3. I think it was because I was a little done with after the 4th book. I was a little burned out, and I was like, I don't even care about that. I'm not even sure with all these books coming out when these Pineapple Cabaret things, the characters who are in there, when they're actually going to meet up. What level was it, or what floor did they say they were going to help create? It's in the teens somewhere, right? 13, 16. So I guess maybe after I read this one, maybe after I get, because what we have book 7 and 8. 8 is coming out at the time of this recording, I think coming out like today or the next week. Maybe then I'll go back and just strictly read all the Pineapple Cabaret stuff and maybe talk about those. But for now, I'm just kind of skipping them because it's like, let's just get on with the main story. But looking forward to it. Book 5, what a freaking treat. Moving on to The Eye of the Bedlam Bride. Can't wait. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already, and I will see you next time.